There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. They hear the first and last of every tree speak to humankind today. Come to me, here, beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river.
I believe that sometimes we do not die. I will not believe that to be housed in a body that is black is to be always dressed in black for the funeral. Even when we die, we live forever.
I think anger is righteous. It really is, and I feel like we have every right to be angry. I don't understand why people are not more angry when black people are being shot down in the street by the state, or the fact that people are being drone striked and nobody knows about it. Anger is a very powerful emotion, especially when we can turn it into something that can really create change.
Gayatri, your standards are too high. And I laughed at him and I said, I'm sorry, no, your standards are too low.
I want something else, a different system entirely. One not seen on this earth for thousands of years, if ever.
You can't fight for a better world if you can't even imagine what it might look like.
The resilience is incredible. Everybody always thinks it's gone. But it lives in my family. It lives in the thoughts of the artist. It lives in the thoughts of our writers, our thinkers. They are still there. And they are resisting.
When women rise, everyone will rise.
But they flew up like birds over the tangle of waves, over hilltops, valleys, lakes, schoolyards, buses, trains, factories, temples, over births, deaths, dreams, and regrets, over joy, laughter, and tears.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
You would have your power, you empowered yourself, you would throw it out there, you would use that as a weapon.
Yeah, I'm very inspired by women, and what women are doing right now. We're all uniting and we're protecting each other and we're helping create a support system for those who feel silenced and feel like they can't speak out against the abuse of power.
Time's up on waiting for things to change. Time's up on any behavior or culture that makes women less safe in the workplace.
This is who I am. This is what I believe in, and this is what I want you to see about me.
It did not immobilize me. I continued along the path I was already on, sharing my truth as a Black feminist, lesbian, and socialist, committed to organizing for fundamental political, social, and economic change.
You are a woman, skin and bones, veins and nerves, hair and sweat. You are not made of metaphors, not apologies, not excuses.
I think I had one choice, well, two choices. I could become a writer or I could die really young.
Feminism is about trying to change the world. It's about recognizing gender inequalities, but other inequalities as well.
I mean, feminism is intersectional and it uplifts people and women and their right to choose.
I think that it's time for us to change the dialogue.
There are a lot of things dividing us right now, but I do believe that the possibility to unite us exists.
These readings are really significant to keep our vision of what our word is supposed to do in the world. Otherwise, we feel our words have no effect, but together they have a very powerful effect.
When Black men and women are being murdered in our streets, when there is sexual assault rampant on our college campuses, it is our job to disturb the comfortable.
Healthcare is for everybody. Respect is for everybody. Clean waters for everybody. Schools for everybody. Being able to walk freely down the street is for everybody.
I'm a poet, I'm a performer, I'm also many other things. I'm Pakistani, I'm Kashmiri, I'm Muslim, I'm an orphan, I'm queer, I'm American, all of these things all at the same time.
Don't let the fascists speak. We want to hear what they have to say. Keep them out of the classroom. The Supreme Court says it is illegal to scream fire in a crowded theater. To scream fire in a crowded theater cause people to panic, to run, to hurt each other. My mind remembers, and now I know what my innards say. Illegal to cause people to panic, to run, to hurt. There is no contradiction. What the Nazis say will cause people to hurt me.
And I decided I was tired of running from anger and angry men, and I put my hand up, actually my left hand, I said, "You're not fire, you're water." And immediately that man melted into the ground and sank into a pool of oily water.
History is made by absolutely everyone. We're all a part of the story. We're all changing this machine of human history and changing how that machine is functioning. It's part of your story, it's part of our history, and it's part of her story.
I've always just loved writing, and it felt like poetry and later lyrics were my way of sort of processing my surroundings and really finding my own language.
What we want is to express a yearning that really gets to what it means to have full self-determination and to ensure that bodies can fully express their desire.
It's brave to confront racism, even though society may say racism is okay. It's brave to confront sexism, even when society says sexism is okay. Women don't mind being on the bottom, they like it that way. It's brave to confront poverty, which we mask under this lovely term, income inequality, as if it's just an accident, you see.
Being free, there's freedom in dancing, there's freedom in moving, there's freedom in just celebrating your authentic self.
I started writing because I had a need inside of me to create something that was not there.
Love is like a comic book. It's fragile, and the best we can do is protect it in whatever clumsy ways we can. Plastic and cardboard, dark rooms and boxes, and in this way, something never meant to last might find its way to another decade, another home, an attic, a basement, intact. Love is paper.
For who else knows so deeply how to share but mothers and grandmothers, big sisters and aunts, to love and adore both female and male, not to mention those in between, to work at keeping the entire community fed, educated, and safe.
When Ojibwe people pray to these spirits, they don't pray for themselves. They pray for everybody, for all the people who have come here, for everyone. They pray for everyone who's here, everyone and everything. And that's implied in the word Nindinawemeganidok, that this relatedness is we're relatives.
To truly choose to love is heroic. To work at love, to really let yourself, understand the art of loving.
For me, the very act of writing the novel was helping me, and so I often tell students, and I wrote that book to save my life.
Oh, you got to make your own worlds. You got to write yourself in.
As an artist and a writer and a human being is saying, I'm going to give her back her life. I'm going to bring her to life, and I'm going to make all of us face her, and we're going to find meaning for her life, and we're going to rescue her. And she has no name, but I'm going to give her her life and her immortality.
And I began to infuse the retelling of her story with their lives. And it became this process of we are in her and she is in us.
Our stories are universal too. In America Chavez, there is that American dream idea where you get to make your own way in this life.
Thank you for this life. Thank you for this path that we'll walk together.
We carry stories within us that may seem plain or uninteresting, but that actually shape who we are and make us who we are, and can be quite glorious.
To me, what poetry means is the ability to create something new, the ability to make.
I remember realizing that travel and stories can change perspectives, and that we should always share what we learn on our journeys with others. This is how we break out of our boxes. This is how we create a world more grounded in empathy and equity.
What I leave behind as a life
of its own. I've said this about poetry. I've said it about children. Well, in a sense, I'm saying it about the very artifact of who I have been.
Here, root yourselves beside me. I am that tree planted by the river which will not be moved. I the rock, I the river, I the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands. Mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your heart. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
Love.